Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 27th of July. So let's start. Actually, I'm not going to start with a pound at all, and in fact, I'm going to start with the risk events first. So let's look at the risk events that are due out today. There's effectively three of them. The Bank of Japan's already, it's not how already happened at all. It's 8:30. So I get so used to Bank of Japan data going off early. We've got the Bank of Japan boss then due to speak at an online event hosted by. Okay, I don't know if that will create any volatility at all, but beware. Side of that, then Deputy Reserve Bank of Australia Deputy speaking. That's 1:35 this afternoon, and then again, just checking. Due to speak at the FX Markets USA Online conference. Okay, I don't expect much to come off that. But you never know, I guess. Consumer confidence this afternoon. None of those, I think, will affect the markets that much, particularly as we're. Oh, sorry, let's bring this back. Particularly as we're looking forward to Wednesday and the FOMC comments, etc. So it could be one of those days again. We saw it yesterday, very quiet day, largely. And we just had to get on with it. So let's have a look at the technicals first then of the currencies. And well, starting off with the euro. Euro selling off this morning. Had a good shove up yesterday. Actually went into its monthly R1. Just consolidated around that phase there, and then off it went again. And well, looking at a tad tired, but maybe it can find a bit of support off the weekly pivot. It's come down then, and it's also got some confluence with the 60-minute 50. See what it does here, but it has put a lower high in on the way of doing all of this. Now it may just be an ABC correction, and then off it goes again. But looking at the euro bigger picture with the lower highs, lower lows, I really am quite bearish on it. So it's a break below this sort of line in the sand here, could just see it rolling off down to its daily S1, maybe even down to those prior lows. Okay, as I say, looking soft, especially when you come back to the dailies. Pound's had a bit of a better day yesterday. It actually broke through and closed above its previous trend line, or pretty much on it. I just realised not quite touching. There we go, and not quite adjusted. It might be straight into it actually. Now I've mentioned it. Oh, come on, stay still. Oh, it's near enough. No, it has closed above it anyway. Maybe just retesting that 21 as well. Just retesting that at the moment. The 4-hourly here, consolidation. I mean, it just literally went yesterday. Well, it didn't literally go. It went, pulled back and went on the second attempt. I was sort of a bit wary of it and left it. I was trading the euro instead. We ended up long on the euro, but that's just where the market went. But today looks like it's got a lower high already coming in here. Yeah, lower high there. Daily pivot below. Now again, a break of that might be sufficient to see a bit more of a correction, maybe all the way down to its S1. But it's overall looking quite strong relatively, he says. Yen. The yen, well, the yen's getting money running into it this morning, which may suggest risk off for a moment on the currency front at least. Doesn't seem to be any risk off on the equity markets, does it? Anyway, bearish sort of look to the pattern here. Has got its weekly pivot below, which could be the draw. Just looking lower highs, lower lows. At the moment, it just looks like it could have more downside. There's quite an important sort of level around this 110.06 where you've got these prior lows. We're looking at this yesterday. Here we go. So, well, a break of its weekly pivot, it becomes a lot more bearish and maybe suggests further downside. For now, at least, I'm really bullish on the dollar yen in the bigger picture, but not at the moment. Not what it's doing. What it's doing. Aussie dollar had a solid day yesterday. Well, eventually after sort of a blip down, but it's back on this. It's back foot again now. Still, well, battling around a little bit here. Here we go. excuse me, lower highs on the and it's, you just sort of look. I was looking previously, it's range that you just see it just sort of can't get out of this range too much. It did sell off eventually earlier this week, got back in the range, but to me that looks sort of, pretty bearish at the moment. And you know, come back to the dailies all the time, every day, every time you look at this, it just looks bearish. And it seems that if you've got the opportunity on the retracements to sell it. Canadian dollar, well, it's not the favoured one at the moment, the Canadian dollar. It's but it's range bound again. Yesterday we were looking at this and thinking, is it going to finally sort of break through these lows? Well, the answer obviously is no. It's making quite a mess of things, quite choppy on the 60 minutes here. Again, no bullish at the moment on this price action we're seeing here, maybe pushing back up towards those the 25.87 area. I'm just coming back a step. You just sort of see it's still in this upward range. It's a bit different when you look at the 4 hourlies. It sort of worked out what it was doing. It's probably, if you're looking at more near-term trend lines, it's broken, it's walked out sideways, but it does that, as I say, it has that weekly pivot, and it may be just well worth waiting to see if it comes into that and its reaction. Right, that's the CAD. Looking elsewhere, cross pairs, euro yen, selling off this morning. Had this sort of high lows, high highs. It was looking quite decent, but last 8 hours has seen it roll back, and well, heading south at the moment. This is soft euro, stronger yen at this stage. So it might all change. We see this every well, very frequently. Come 8 o'clock, we're 6 minutes past at the moment. Okay, it's selling at the moment, but all of a sudden you'll see a change around. You think, that looked bearish a short while ago, and now I'm going long. But it does look bearish in general, the euro yen, with lower highs, lower lows. It's just doing much the same, isn't it, when you come back to it? Okay, a couple of other pairs we're looking at. Euro pound, people ask me about quite a bit. This is quite choppy. Daily wise, it sold off yesterday in the end. It's quite a mess, and I really find it a struggle to trade it most of the time. Has broke its prior lows there, and selling off. It's just looking like it wants to push up towards its daily pivot, which might be a sell point, but in the main, the pound is just doing so much better. Right, okay. Looking then, look at commodities while I'm on this charting package. Gold slipping. It just can't hold on to its goods or its gains. And as much as one day it's sort of starting to look bullish, it ran into its 50 MA when I was looking at it yesterday. I think in the morning there you go, the 8 o'clock candle, it just ran into the 50 and started pulling away from it, and well, that was that basically. And it's pretty much sold since. It's put lower highs in lower lows, but it could get a bit rangy. It tends to do that, but overall, when you come back to this daily picture, to me it just looks like it's going to topple over and roll over. There we are. It's just purely on pictures, nothing else. Oil had a half decent day yesterday, managed to recover its earlier losses there. It sold off early through the Asian session, pitched back into those, but got very choppy later in the day. Here's a point. I'm just looking where my cursor is at the moment, thinking whether it breaks that area perhaps later this afternoon there's an opportunity for a long, but it's bitty oil for me now, and I'm just waiting my time for the opportunity at some stage to go short, but not yet. I'll probably fly up again now I've said that, but I'm waiting on the shorter side of oil. Okay, that's commodities. Let's get in and look at Bitcoin. I'm going to look at Bitcoin on here, then I'm going to really use my other software. So over the weekend, and this is the futures market I'm looking at here, and on Monday shot up there. Back a bit off today. It's just come off quite steeply. There's done a bit of divergence, I should imagine, across the highs there, pulling back, trying to get back up there at the moment on the shorter time frames. Let's just bring in the picture here. the other markets. And so this is Bitcoin, so it's trying to do something on the dailies there. Bitcoin, Ethereum, similar sort of picture. And if you come down all of these, they are so correlated, the three majors that I'm looking at: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. The correlation is pretty tight amongst them. So yes, they could do something more. This is quite key where we are here. It did actually eventually break the 40,000 mark yesterday on Bitcoin, but I mean it dropped back quite significantly there after doing so. It's whether it can hold its gains, and that's really what's making the market or not making the market, whether it can hold the gains. Okay, so finally let's have a look at the indices. Sorry if you're an indices person, but just luck of the draw really. So as I said, talked about this so many times, the potential of this market rolling over. It has rolled over, really looking soft. And well, this was the sign, and it was all the pattern. It's just pure pattern here, reading the pattern. And another strong old day down. So that's the CSI 300 market there. The FTSE this morning already open, just selling off a bit at the moment. No surprise really, I suppose. Just seeing a bit of negativity out there. And the DAX futures here, that's also just popping over a little bit here, just rolling through, selling a little bit at the moment. US markets just seem, well, they're buoyed up by buying, and you just see they're just so much. I mean, again yesterday, new high on the S&Ps. Go to the Nasdaq, new high on the Nasdaq. It almost did it one this morning, and nearly pushed back one. The Dow Jones yesterday, new high. So we're seeing these sort of highs coming in. There seems little relenting at the moment. It's just going up and up and up. Would I look to short any of these? No, of course not. At the moment, there's not. I mean, some people will be looking at signals and say, well, there's a bit of divergence over the highs here, and yep, there is. But would I look to short them? Intraday, maybe. You might have a signal that comes in. If you have signals that come in, yep, that's fine. But from a daily point of view, looking at these markets, they're far too strong. I keep on saying it. Let's have a look at the yields this morning. Yields still sitting at 1268, dropping off a bit at the moment. This is not normally when we see these dropping off a little bit, yields coming down, we see a dollar softening, but it doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. Right, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day, and I will catch you in the morning. Have a good one. Bye for now.